This is part two. I'm doing it this way because, as many of y'all know, I have a bad internet connection here. Now, I keep getting told, well, I'm speaking up for our rights, not just black rights. Well, I'm sticking up for our rights as human beings. I am treated like I am a bad person, not because of anything else except the color of my skin and my gender. That's what this entire argument is about. How it's okay to victimize white males. That is the message being sent right now. Say, oh, well, black people have had to deal with it for years. Find one black person who has been beaten up hundreds of times for the color of their skin, like I have. Growing up in the system ain't no fucking joke, bitches. Meanwhile, what was Centoya Brown locked up for? She was locked up for killing a man. Now, did that man have it coming? Yeah. Yeah, he did. I feel that she did the right thing, and there are many people who do the right thing and end up going to jail or prison, isn't there? Like when Ed defended himself against that drunk asshole. Where did Ed go? Prison. Why did he go to prison? Because he defended himself against people who were trying to fucking murder him. Now let's pretend that part one didn't happen, because, well, part one is a pain in the ass, because it's all splotchy and blotchy more than likely. It does what usually happens. It gets cut off in the middle. Now, mind you, Brock Turner, here's a rich white kid. Brock Turner only served 3 months for raping an unconscious woman because serving time in jail would ruin his life. No, serving time in jail wouldn't ruin his life. And then it says, meanwhile, teen Centoya Brown has to serve 51 years in prison for killing her rapist. First of all, Centoya Brown is not a teenager. All right, she's not. She's a grown-ass adult now. She had to serve 15 years in prison for doing the right thing. What happened to her was fucking gross. It should have never happened. But it doesn't just happen to black people. It happens to poor people. Most victimized people in America are those who grew up in foster care. And then they become adults, and people just don't care. And then there's the fact that a lot of people think, oh, you go to a foster home, it's all nice and neat and lovey-dovey, and everything is perfect like in the goddamn movies. Fuck no, it's not. By the way, Centoya Brown was released last October. October 15th of last year, she was released. She does not have to serve 51 years for killing her rapist. She served 15. And she's free now. Does this make what Brock Turner did okay? Who was it that let Brock Turner go? Was it white people? Or was it the judicial system? Is this a rich kid? Or is this a poor person? Zayd Atkinson comes from a well-to-do family. He had money for a lawyer. That's what it comes down to. Do you have the money for a lawyer? Do you have public support? When your name is slandered the way that mine is, and you are never allowed to defend yourself, and people are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to you, yeah, fuck you. Fuck your racist bullshit. I'm not going to pretend that what happened to Centoya Brown was okay. So let's read this racist bullshit here. Now, mind you, I know Keegan. This is the guy whose post I'm speaking up on. I type, meanwhile, you don't post up anything about the homeless and how they're treated by comparison. Sad, really. Because, see, they got this comparison here between this rich kid and Centoya. but no comparison with the poor people. What, you want to pretend poor white people don't exist? Is that what you're doing? Holy fuck. God damn, Alexis Stern Williams is still fucking commenting. Anyway, I also typed, how about Zaid Atkinson, a rich black kid in Boulder who was paid $65K for pretending he was targeted for the color of his skin. He was actually paid $165K. But Alexis Stern Williams, lots of people think that if they keep on posting the same bullshit, it'll eventually make it true. Alexis Stern Williams types, WTF are you talking about? He was targeted and there was no pretending. I didn't say he wasn't targeted. I'm saying he was targeted for looking homeless. You guys want to go, oh, well, you know, the dude says in the house says that he was blah, 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 blah. Dude, that dude in the house didn't say shit for the first 10 goddamn minutes of that. The first 10 goddamn minutes of that video. Meanwhile, you tell Zaid Atkinson what a wonderful person he is for standing up to those pigs. But you tell me I'm a terrible person for standing up to them. Because I'm not the right goddamn color. Because I'm not a college student. Because I don't have a rich mommy and daddy who give a fuck. Anyway, I replied to her, I never said he wasn't targeted. Holy shit, she's still posting up comments. I typed, I never said he wasn't targeted. I am saying he was treated like a homeless person. It was a case of bad assumptions, and she's going to make a lot of bad assumptions in this. Had Zaid actually been homeless, he would have gotten treated homeless for a whole lot longer. And of course, there's people that think it's funny. They put the little happy fucking smiley face on the side. Ha ha. By the way, when people start doing that, I do it back. Paul Johnson, another racist asshole. Type Sean Schwartz, what's the point if this comment? Are you just making up scenarios that would have been worse for him? See? Changed the subject entirely. Making up scenarios? No, I don't have to make it up. It's on fucking video, stupid. Unlike these people who are commenting on shit that they know nothing about except for the bullshit. I was actually involved with those police officers, with court cases and court dates with those police officers. Many people were. Many other victims who were not white have been ignored because, why? Because them being white will prove that this racist rhetoric is bullshit. You show the situation that happened with me. You show the situation that happened with Betsy Prowell. You realize, hey, maybe it's not just black people this shit's happening to. If I'm going to stand up to the fucking KKK, you're goddamn right I'm going to stand up to you. I don't care what fucking color you are. If you're racist, you're racist. You want to tell me black people can't be racist? Then you are a racist for saying that. And then Keegan typed, Paul Johnson, I'm pretty sure he was making the point that homeless people are also treated unfairly, and I think supporting it with the assumption that he was treated how he was due to the officer thinking he was homeless, as well as being black. Sean Schwartz, correct me if I'm wrong. Keegan, you're pretty close to right. You're right about enough of that for it to definitely warrant a like from me. Now, I'm not saying that black has no factor in that. I mean, we're looking at black people being victimized by the police at a 5-to-1 ratio over their white counterparts. But we also, if we're going to look at those statistics, we need to look at the fact that homeless are victimized at a 346-to-1 ratio. 346-to-1 over their housed counterparts in that very same county. People are making it a race issue, and it's not. It's a poverty issue. Just like that backpack is used to assume that you're easy to railroad. The color of your skin is used to assume that you are easy to railroad. And if you have both black skin and a backpack, you're fucked. And that's wrong. There are lots of racist things going on, and when it's racist, I post it up. And I say that it's racist. But in the situation with Zaid Atkinson, no, that wasn't a racist situation. Homeless people have to deal with that every fucking day, and you don't give a holy fucking goddamn, do you? Anyway, Alexis Stern Williams type Sean Schwartz, that's how much the cop got who harassed Zaid. Harassed! Didn't even fucking assault him! Why? Because he got special fucking treatment. Why? Because people were streaming out the window and recording it. That is the reason that he didn't get his face bashed into the concrete like a fucking homeless person would. That's the reason that they didn't try to fucking tear his wrists apart by putting him sideways in those fucking handcuffs like they did to me and many others. But you're going to ignore it because I'm not black. You're going to ignore it because these other victims aren't black. You're going to ignore it because most of the victims are not black. They're homeless. Anyway, Alexis Stern Williams types, that's how much the cop got who harassed Zaid. $69K. But go off, misinformation. Well, let's type this the fuck up in here. How much was Zaid Atkinson paid? The city of Boulder is offering a $125,000 settlement to Zaid Atkinson. Mind you, this is old. And it says here in the next one that, well, just read this one because I don't have to fucking click a link. The city of Boulder is offering a $125,000 settlement to Zaid Atkinson, the black Naropa student. Black student who was confronted by armed police officers. How many police in the United States aren't fucking armed? You go out of your way to type shit and put keywords that you can try to make it seem like it fits, but it doesn't. If you look at the way the homeless people are treated and you compare it with Zaid Atkinson, yeah, Zaid Atkinson needs to shut the fuck up and quit bitching. Of course, that's what you guys tell me. Then again, I'm not getting a $125,000 settlement, am I? No, what I got was more victimization. The only reason Zaid Atkinson was treated the way that he was by the public and by the news is because he had people there help in person, which I had been asking for years, so that I could prove, before this ever happened to Zaid, so that I could prove that this is how homeless people are treated. Zaid trying to pretend it was because he was black. He didn't start off that way. It wasn't until people pushed that racist rhetoric. Yes, Zaid Atkinson is a fucking racist. Let's see. Who was confronted by armed police officers last year while picking up trash outside his home. You know, they do the same thing to homeless people who pick up trash. You know how many homeless people I know who have been locked up for littering because they were picking up garbage? And who are they usually picking up after? College kids! City Council is set to approve the payout during a special Monday night meeting, the only non-coronavirus item on the agenda. That's right. Special rights for black people, no rights for homeless people. It's fine to treat homeless people like this. Why is it that the Boulder Police Department was fine with making this a race issue? Because if you knew that they lock up 2,400 people per year doing this exact same thing to them, except worse, and those people, most of them are not black, they're homeless. then maybe we'd have some actual effective change. But no, you want to pretend it's a race issue at this point. There are plenty of race issues out there already. What happened to Ventus was a racially motivated issue. Now, Ventus was given the same treatment that I was. Zayd Atkinson wasn't. Oh my God, Zayd Atkinson was fucking pampered. He had his ass wiped for him. That's how pampered he is. Was he made homeless by this? How many times was he assaulted by police? Did people actually help him? Or did they get fucking excuses like I got? So, Alexis Stern Williams. Let's see how much Officer Smiley got. How much money was Officer Smiley paid? Let's see. A white Colorado police officer who pulled out his gun during a confrontation with a black man picking up trash around his dormitory resigned this week. So he wasn't fired, he resigned. Under an agreement that lets him collect $69,000 in salary despite violating police department policies. Now, is it police department policy to do this to homeless people? Yes, it is. Was he paid $69,000? Yes, he was. So was this woman right about him getting paid $69,000? Yes, she was. Does that mean that I was wrong about Zayd? No, it doesn't. Now, unlike racist cunts like this dumb bitch, well, these dumb bitches, and I understand one's a male and one's a female, and you guys are sexist and think that bitch is a very specific term for one gender. I'm not going to use it that way. I've been locked up too long to use bitch that way, bitch. But unlike these bitches, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong and when I get information wrong. She says, but go off, misinformation. And she puts this big old thing. Well, I corrected myself on here because I said that he got $65,000 and I later corrected it to $169,000. But we just looked it up. Didn't it say $165,000 or $125,000? So I was wrong, wasn't I? Then again, I told y'all I'm not good with numbers and I'm not good with names. Now later on, this lady tries to get into some real racist bullshit. Alexis Stern Williams takes Keegan Murhan. Just so you know, the man who was treated like a homeless person was Sammy Lawrence. No, he wasn't. That's not to say Sammy Lawrence wasn't treated like a homeless person. I'm telling you that Zayd Atkinson, it's the same exact thing. And it wasn't just Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. By the way, how many conversations has Alexis Stern Williams had with Sammy Leon Lawrence IV? See, I've got screenshots between me and Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. He wants to get special treatment because of his disabilities, and he wanted to be an asshole to me because of mine. Fuck you, Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. You're a racist piece of shit. Anyway, that was a pivotal part of Sammy Lawrence's case, how he was treated because they assumed he was homeless. And then it says, not Zayd Atkinson, they confronted him because he was in front of a dorm picking up trash with a stick. And then he said he lived there. They didn't believe him because they wanted to treat him like a homeless person because of the way that he looked. Claiming that it's because he's black. If they do it, if they do that very same thing to a whole bunch of white peoples who happen to not be black, is it magically okay? Literally everybody's argument for why Zade Atkinson is right is because he was a college student, he had money, the color of his skin, and the roof over his head. So, what does this tell us? If you're not black, not a college student, and don't have a roof over your head and don't have any money, then it must be okay. Well, holy shit, that's fucking wrong. Now, the rhetoric that y'all are fucking sold, much like with my case, you can go type my name up. Do they post up the screenshots that I showed? No, because it doesn't fit their fucking rhetoric, hatred, or bias. Anyway, it says, picking up trash with a stick, and when he said he lived there, they didn't believe him. That's the point! Why didn't they believe him? Because he looked like a fucking homeless person, you dumb cunt! If a white kid says, this is my dorm, there's usually not an 8-cop investigation. The cops didn't end up showing up 8-on-1 because of an investigation. They showed up 8-on-1 because Zade Atkinson did the right thing and stood up for his goddamn rights. If the cops come up to a white kid who's got his hair all fucking dready and he's wearing torn up fucking clothes, yes, they'll treat him the same goddamn way. How do I know? Because I lived in Boulder, Colorado as a homeless person and saw this shit happen for years and nobody gave a fuck. Anyway, so this woman is obviously typing bullshit. It says the cop who was forced to resign was given a settlement of $69K, and that is $69K. She was right about that. She types 4 more K than what Sean was factually wrong, nonetheless. Upset about a victim of police brutality getting. I wasn't upset about him getting that money. Matter of fact, I think it's a good thing that he got that money. But he threw all of the other victims under the bus. Same with Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. Same with Michelle Rodriguez, and same with Darren O'Connor by ignoring the homeless victims of these very same officers, these very same policies. You say it's against police policy. No, it's not. Not if they are allowed to get away with it when it happens to the homeless. By the way, he didn't get 4K more. He didn't. He got a lot fucking less, didn't he? We just looked it up. $125,000. I've had to go through easily 100 times more than Zade Atkinson just this year. And you want to tell me I need to shut up and get to the back of the goddamn bus? Fuck you. So this woman, pretty much any assumption that she can make that justifies her wrongdoing in this case, and it is her wrongdoing at this point. Now, mind you, she typed this part after there's an argument lower down, where I had to explain to her that he got paid money. Now, although I had looked over it over a month ago, I am not good with numbers. Whether it's 165 or 125,000, it's still a far cry more than I got, isn't it? While I got continually victimized and nobody cared because of my color. Oh no, Sean, the police would never do that to a white guy. No, they'll do that. They will definitely do that to a white guy. Especially if that white guy is broke. Now she wants to claim that I'm upset about a police a victim of police brutality getting paid money. I'm not pissed off that a victim of police brutality got paid that money. And yes, this man was a victim, well, not of police brutality. I can't say that. They did not brutalize him. They were kind to him by comparison with how they treat the homeless. Did his ID have his address there on it? No, it didn't. If that had happened to a white college kid who looked like Zayd Atkinson just with lighter skin, yes, he would have gotten the same fucking treatment. But then you wouldn't have that racist excuse. That's why you ignore people like me, because we don't have the right color to be victimized. Fuck you. Now let's say, where is the outrage for the settlement for the cop? I am fucking pissed off about that. That cop should be in prison. All Boulder Police Department officers, every single one of them, belongs in prison. Now, unlike these assholes, I saved the evidence. I'm smart like that. Now, mind you, it says up here that I've got 12 notifications from Alexis Stern-Williams. Anyway, it says, where is the outrage for the settlement for the cop? I am outraged for that. I'm also pissed off that I don't have a goddamn thing, that everything in my life was stolen from me, and that I was actually brutalized. Now, those cops, did they ever actually point those guns at him? No! And the one dude who was being yelled at like he was a bad person for drawing a gun, it wasn't even a fucking real gun, it was a taser gun. And that was part of their argument too. It was just a taser gun, it's not lethal. But then again, they shot the fuck out of a black man, shot him in the back because he had a taser gun. Meanwhile, that man was being assaulted by police in a situation where they should have just let him sleep it the fuck off. That man was obviously fucking scared for his life. Whereas Zayd Atkinson talks about being scared for his life. Is he having to go through the shit that I am? No. The police actually fucking did something. The public actually fucking cared. Now it says, let's see, the whole coming on your post trying to say a black man was playing victim. He is! That's not to say he wasn't victimized. That's to say that he's playing on his skin color to pretend that that's why he was victimized. It absolutely wasn't. Let's see. The whole coming on your post trying to say a black man was playing victim is weird. Now, where is it where I'm saying that he is playing victim in this? I want to read that part. Let's see. I don't see it there. Don't see it there. I wrote, pretending he was targeted for the color of his skin. Completely different from playing victim, isn't it? I would say so. But you want to paraphrase. This right here is why police need to be forced to wear body cams. Because there are as much ignorant, racist cunts on the police force as there are people like Alexis Stern-Williams, who is going to paraphrase, and obviously very wrongly paraphrase, by putting words into my mouth that were never there. Lovely though, right? Anyway, it continues. Is weird AF given that the post was not about Zayd or anything at all to do with Zayd. But it does have to do with Zayd. It has to do with me. It has to do with all of us. And the fucking rhetoric that we're selling. Why don't you try telling the truth? Why don't you try not omitting information? Like maybe not omit the information that Centoya Black was released. Centoya Brown was released. Why leave that out? Why continue to pretend that she has to serve 51 years? She's not serving 51 years. You want to only make the comparisons of, all right, this is the worst case scenario with a black guy, and this is the best case scenario with a white guy. So we're going to compare these. Best case scenario, white guy who's got a rich mommy and daddy, has a roof over his head, versus this worst case black guy. Yeah, you compare those two together, and you can sell your racist rhetoric, but it's rhetoric. It is rhetoric. The fact that the homeless in Boulder County are victimized at a 346-to-1 ratio over their house counterparts shows that that bullshit is rhetoric. Let's see. I just thought I'd clear this up because Sean is giving you flat out false information. Really? What flat out false information? The $165,000 I was wrong about. And I wrote that down, but it's far better than her false information of a rhetoric that she wasn't even fucking there for. She's just a racist. And then she wants to be insulting and condescending. Now this part right here, mind you, this she just typed up. Let me see. It says now that it was put up 32 minutes ago. I don't know if it's on purpose or if he really is just mixing up the cases. No, I'm not mixing up the cases. I'm saying that that bullshit is related. Officer Waylon Lolatai was involved in 7 assaults in 2018, and the only 3 that people care about are the minorities. Minorities who were mistakenly targeted as homeless people. And if you look at the situation, no fucking duh! Any fucking retard can look at those and realize, yes, that cop thought he was a fucking homeless person. Same with Samuel Leon Lawrence IV. What color is the officer who assaulted Zaid Atkinson? Let's see. Also, Zaid got $125K. That's right. He did. Not $165K. But the important part here, you want to get all pissed off about what? What is that? 25K, 35, 45, 55, 65, $40,000. It's a lot of fucking money, isn't it? Shit, I'd be happy with 4,000 fucking dollars. He had help. While the help that I got was people blowing me off and victimizing me further. People who claim to be my friends, victimizing me further and getting away with it. Using crimes that I didn't even fucking commit as their excuse for doing so. Using the term mentally ill. With all due respect, every time one of you fucking cunt rags types the word mentally ill, I hear the word N-I-G. Do you want me to finish that? Do I even have to finish that? It's a fucking excuse and you goddamn well know it. And then it says there's like 5 other factually incorrect things that Sean has said now. But those were the things I thought you should know. You want to focus on the money. That's right. But you factually missed a bunch of stuff and then went out of your way to pretend I was saying things I wasn't. So we'll hit the ha 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 button. And I did type, sorry, 165K. And of course, Alexis Stern-Williams, here's a whole bunch of her replies here. Let's see. It says, Sean Schwartz didn't know about that. Also, don't spend all my time reporting on humanity's wrongdoings, nor do I want to. And that's good, but this post is about humanity's wrongdoings. But I don't control the popularity of topics. And right there, Keegan is again making a very good point about popularity. Something I've been speaking out about. Oh, a white person has been victimized. Let's gang up on him and tell him he deserves it. Fuck you. He types, I'm sorry that homeless people aren't the focus right now. They never are. Unless you want someone to victimize, homeless people are not your focus. Homeless people don't matter. Black people matter. White people in houses matter. Actually, I take that back. Only black people in houses matter. I've seen how black people who are homeless are treated, and you don't give a fuck about them either. I do. I don't care what color you are. You are a human being. If you do something fucked up, it's not magically okay because of the color of your skin or because of your occupation. If you are forced to break the law to defend yourself, I am on your side 100%. He also typed, if I saw something posted about homeless, chances are I would repost it too. And he probably would. But I am not creating the material that I am posting typically, unless it's my music. And thank goodness he makes music. Lots of homeless people do. Now, those of you who want to say, well, you know, busking, that's just the same thing as panhandling. And a lot of people think of it that way. But then you take a look at my artwork and people are like, oh, Sean, fucking you're badass at that. You've got talent. No, the fuck I don't. I got practice, motherfucker. It took a lot of practice to get that good. Just like these musicians. It takes a lot of practice for them to get that good. Lucas Wolf, a.k.a. Lucas Swafford. Beautiful voice. Hell of a guitar player. I'd recommend looking his stuff up, by the way. He's damn good. Let's see. He also types, what's really sad is that people feel the need to compare struggles. Well, that's the point. Instead of doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, we're going, well, see, this person here has it better than me. That person has it better than me. That person has it better than me. Oh, you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that. You're not the right color. You're not the right gender. You don't have enough money to say that. Popularity. Popularity. You're pretty, so you're popular. So you must be right because you're pretty. You destroyed an innocent man's life and you're a fucking heroin junkie, but you're pretty, so you must be right. It's a popularity contest. Like you see that pretty girl on Facebook posts up fucking 10 selfies a day, and each one of them gets fucking 500 to 1,000 likes. And then you, those of you who are fat women, who are not necessarily that attractive, and you post up a selfie, and you might get 70 likes, and you're super excited if you get 70 of them. And for a dude like me, I get 26 likes. So I'm like, holy fuck. A lot of people saw my picture. Popularity. The reason that I am comparing struggles is because this is the tactics that are being used. If it is wrong for you to use those tactics, then admit it. If it's wrong for me to use those tactics, then you're being a hypocrite. Because I'm not doing it first and then bitching about it. I'm doing it back to prove that you won't fucking like it if it happens to you. Will you? No, the fuck you won't. Let's see. He typed, like we were all on this planet together. That's something I've said many times. Treated equally, it seems. Or nobody is treated equally, it seems. And instead of people attempting to understand and help each other, all I see is a bunch of people who will try to bring each other down. That's the thing, is that I try to bring attention to what's going on. And I get victimized for speaking up because I'm not the right color or the right gender. I have people who want to be assholes to me because I'm not the color or the right gender. Well, let's take a look at this stuff. Oh, Alexis Williams is still posting shit up. She is pissed. Let's see. Oh, she posted up quite a bit, actually. So, now I get to go back and find that part because when Alexis posted up, it kind of dragged me away from what I was reading. Ah, yes, right here. Let's see. And instead of people attempting to understand and help each other, all I see is a bunch of people who will try to bring each other down. All I can do is be the best person I can be because people are going to be shitty or shady regardless. But as long as I did my best to do what I believe to be right, then at least I can die happy when the time comes. Or maybe not happy, but satisfied. I very much agree with that. At least I'm doing the best that I can with what I got. Alexis Stern Williams typed Keegan Murnhan. It was that college kid that was harassed while picking up trash fairly recently in Boulder. I don't know if you saw it. It wasn't fairly recently. It was in 2018. Same year that I was assaulted, but magically it's okay to assault me because of the color of my skin, because of my gender, and because of how much money I don't have. But Sean is spreading misinformation by saying he was pretending to be targeted. See, there this woman goes again, lying outright. She typed, it's on camera and it's real. I didn't say it's not real. I've said repeatedly on here. Now, this is a lot of stuff that she's posting up after the fact, after I posted up repeatedly, that yes, I've seen the videos from start to finish, not just the part that were paraphrased and cut into sections for me. I watched the whole goddamn video. I watched both of them, by the way. The police body camera, start to finish, as well as the camera from the guy who was recording it in the house. Why was Zayd Atkinson given special treatment that a homeless person would not have been given? Because of that person in the house with the camera who was recording it. That's the big fucking difference. Somebody there in person. Why was I so good at my fucking job in Boulder? Because I was there in fucking person. Why am I not so good at that job now? Because I can't be there in person. So this woman is going out of her way to try to twist my words to whatever fits her rhetoric. Now, the pulling a gun on somebody. You do realize that there were more than one officer with guns in that video, right? I've seen the video. How many of those officers left? Keegan typed, Alexis Stern Williams, I haven't seen or heard about it until today, but I also haven't been living in that area for almost 2 years now, so maybe that's why. I will have to read up on it. Now, are you going to read up on the rhetoric, or are you going to look at the actual video? I'd recommend looking at the actual video, Keegan. And that woman posted up part of it, but there's a lot to it. One of those videos is, shit, I want to say 41 minutes long, and I'm probably wrong about that. Anyway, Alexis Stern Williams typed Keegan. Oh, geez, it was national news. And so was Natalie's. But where Zayd Atkinson was painted as a victim, and he was victimized, but he was painted as the victim of a racially motivated crime. How is it racially motivated if they do it to white people who look like that? I do want to know that. Anyway, she typed, "Oh, geez, it was on national news, on the local news here in New Mexico, and shared by a lot of people both in and out of Colorado. But happened about a year ago. Actually, it was about 2 years ago. And a lot has gone down in the world since then, lol. It's not funny. But definitely look into it. I truly don't know what Sean is on about or why he even brought it up on this post. Because I'm fighting for our rights. Our rights. Human rights. There are lots of people who were targeted for the color of their skin. Zayd wasn't. Hello? 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 Well, that was, the cops. I've been trying to get a hold of them about the abuse that I've endured quite a bit. Police across the country took part in this, and it's okay because I'm white. Now you notice there I said hello, 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 and then he said hello and hung up. Fuck the Piggly Wigglies. Let's get back to this. Um, Hello?
Is this Mr. Schwartz?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Schwartz, my name is Lieutenant Splatstosser with the Nebraska State Patrol. How are you?
I'm not too good.
Okay, well, you had gotten, I had received a voicemail for, you had called the Internal Affairs Division and had left a voicemail. I'm just calling to follow up on that. Did you need to file a complaint?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. What can I do for you?
Well, sir, mind you, this is a situation that should be in federal hands because of the number of jurisdictions that it's crossed. But I can't go to the police here in Chapel, Nebraska about any of the threats, harassment, or assaults that I'm enduring because those police officers since 2018 have taken part in covering up the crimes of their fellow officers. And that includes one of the state patrol officers here in Chapel, Nebraska by the name of William Burr. There was an assault, actually a chain of assaults that happened both before and after the death of a young woman named Natalie Bollinger in Colorado. The police here in Chapel, Nebraska were made aware of the situation both before and after Natalie's death, and they failed to do any investigating, failed to do any reporting. When I made the 911 calls, they did not write a report and they did not look into the situation. And on multiple occasions have told me that I just need to man up and that they have real police work to do. Meanwhile, I am a disabled American. I cannot turn off my disabilities. And the police officers, knowing my disabilities, took full advantage of them in order to cover up their wrongdoings. That includes an officer who is attempting to threaten me and scare me out of town, named Officer Cody Selhorst, as well as one who is still in this town, named Jared Hahn. I have a YouTube channel that is actually full of recorded conversations and situations with these officers where they repeatedly make every excuse not to take my report, and ultimately, just in the last 6 months, have finally pretended that they would. The thing is that they haven't investigated any of these crimes, and the crimes continue to happen. I am still disabled, and something needs to be done.
Okay. Hey, so Mr. Schwartz, in the Internal Affairs Division, we take, I guess in this case it'd be an you with along those lines?
Yes, sir, you can. Actually, two things you can help me with along those lines. The first one, on the 3rd of July and 4th of July, I made 911 calls to the State Patrol, and I had to actually walk from Scottsbluff to Chapel almost the whole way. But I got a ride from a State Patrol officer, and I don't know his name at the moment, but it's on my videos. And when I returned to Chapel and finally got there, Officer William Burr was supposed to come speak with me and take a report about it, and he claimed that it was being recorded, so he should have body cameras on it. And I was told, this is because I was told that here in Nebraska, I have to take it to the State Patrol if there's an issue with the local police. So I tried to take it to the State Patrol, and the State Patrol never got back a hold of me, never called me back, never made any attempt to do any of that in the last almost 2 years, over 2 years now since the event took place.
Okay. And when specifically did this event happen? You said the 3rd and 4th of July of what year?
That would have been 2018.
And what specifically are you alleging?
I'm alleging that the State Patrol did not investigate the crimes against me, up to and including not recording information, giving false information, and lying outright, not just to me, but also on court documents.
Specifically what?
Well, specifically, when Officer William Burr was claiming that it was being recorded and that there was going to be an investigation, and nobody got back to me, nobody bothered to call me back about it. That very specifically was not investigated. I am a disabled American. I cannot defend myself.
Mr. Schwartz, I understand all that, but you still have failed to tell me specifically what you're talking about. What was the issue that you went to Trooper Burr with?
The wrongdoings of the Dual County Sheriff's Department and their attempts to cover up their crimes.
Specifically, what are their crimes?
Well, you said focus on the part with William Burr, but I suppose since we're getting into this part, the second part that I was going to ask you about is the number that I need to get a hold of in order to turn in the officers here in relation to that situation.
Are they with the Nebraska State Patrol?
No, sir, they are not. Dual County Sheriff's Department is a sheriff's department. I told you they were a sheriff's department because they're a sheriff's department.
In regards to another department.
Do what?
I cannot help you with complaints that you have about another department.
I know. That's why I'm telling you about Bill Burr, and then you wanted to ask about the other department. The other department that I was trying to turn in, I already explained to you that that is the Dual County Sheriff's Department. I also explained to you that I was told to speak to the State Patrol about the Dual County Sheriff's Department if there was an issue, which is the reason that I called Burr. And Burr told me that he would get a hold of other officers. And by the way, I actually spoke with 3 different State Patrol officers other than Burr that day.
And what did they tell you?
They told me that I needed to get to Chapel by 8 o'clock, or they weren't going to, or Dual County Sheriff's Department wasn't going to allow me to have my vehicle back. They also told me that Bill Burr would meet me at the courthouse, and he did. And I explained to Bill Burr at that point in time what was going on, and I asked him before I started explaining it if he was recording it. And he said that it was being recorded. So there are recordings that I was attempting to turn into the State Patrol the way that I was told to. I was attempting to do so.
Okay. So, just so I'm clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're angry or frustrated specifically because Burr never followed up with you? Is that what it is?
It's not just Burr. The State Patrol never followed up with me. They never called me back. I've been repeatedly assaulted, and the police will not do a thing about it. I have evidence that this has actually taken place from one side of this country to the other in the last 2 years over crimes that I didn't commit.
when you talked to Bill Burr 2 years ago. So you just have to give me some time, and I'll take a look into it, and we'll just go from there.
All right. What was your name?
Being that you're not, is there something specific that, minus just not following up with you, do you have any other concerns?
Yes, sir. My safety has been an issue ever since. The situation that was happening at the time involved a guy named Cody Selhorst who was threatening my life, and he literally 2 days ago traveled across jurisdictional lines to where I was staying out at a farm on the other side of Lodgepole, Nebraska, to threaten my life with another individual. This is the second time that he has done this. I have had hundreds of threats against my life that no officer will investigate.
Mr. Schwartz, what's your physical home address?
My physical home address is 702 Hayward Avenue, apartment number 103, Chapel, Nebraska, 69129. Now, what's your name again?
Lieutenant Splatstosser with Internal Affairs.
Lieutenant? How do I spell that?
You called and left a message on at 4:30 in the morning the other day.
Yes, sir. I also left one yesterday. I got a call back, but they hung up as soon as I answered the phone. How do I spell your name?
Who did you call yesterday, sir?
I called the number that you called me from, actually. The first number that I called was, I was given a number for the Nebraska State Patrol, the office that I'm supposed to call in order to turn in the Dual County Sheriff's Office. And they called me back from the number that you called me from. And I called that number back and left a message on the answering machine. I still don't know how to spell your name. S-P-L-A-T-T-H-E S-T-O-E-S-S-E-R. All right. Also, since you guys are just internal affairs, what is the number that I need in order to turn in the Dual County Sheriff's Department?
Turn in them about what? I guess I'm confused. Is it your frustration with their...
It's not just frustration. It's repeated. They repeatedly broke the law and looked the other way. Now, you have already explained to me that you can't do this because you are internal affairs. So instead of you deciding whether or not, with all of this other information, why don't you just give me the number of the people that I need to get a hold of?
Do you have access to the internet, Mr. Schwartz?
I do, but I am not computer savvy. I've attempted to make reports across the internet repeatedly, and your sites are just impossible to do that with.
The reason why I'm saying that is because I don't have the number off the top of my head, but if you look up the phone number for Troop E State Patrol headquarters, which will be in Scotts Bluff, I believe that's who you're going to want to contact.
Troop E. All right, just so you know, just in the state patrol calls that I've made about this situation, I've been given at least 10 different phone numbers. There's a pretty good chance that I've already called Troop E, but I'll do it again, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
I would like an investigator to get back to me about this as soon as possible.
Well, I can't promise that, sir, because you still haven't told me of a specific crime involving William Burr.
Well, sir, that specific crime involving William Burr is ignoring crimes against a disabled person, including assaults and threats against their life.
Is that stuff being investigated currently, or was it being investigated prior by Chapel or by Dual County?
No, sir, they've outright refused to investigate any of their crimes. The sheriff here told me that I needed to take it to him, so I took it to him. When I took it to him, he got his other officers involved in trying to cover up that crime, and then told me that he couldn't investigate it against his officer and that I needed to call somebody else. Then later, and mind you, I have this on video. My YouTube has over 2,000 videos recorded. And I let Officer Burr know about this, as well as several other officers with the state patrol. They literally, the police in this town did everything they could to prey on the term mentally ill in order to victimize an innocent person to cover their crimes and the wrongful death of Natalie Bollinger and others.
Okay. All right, Mr. Schwartz, thanks for your time.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye. Let me give you all that number. That number is 402-471-4545. Now, I was reading this stuff about Keegan and this racist cunt, but I got stuff I gotta do today, and I can read that bullshit later. So I'm gonna stop this and download it, and hopefully it'll be done in 3 or 4 hours when I'm finished.